Thank you all for joining the live MA session today. I'm Kristen from Blockchain Army, the leading media agency on the space that aims to promote the adoption of blockchain technology for many projects. So I'll be the host for our live today, and we're broadcasting from the Blockchain Army YouTube channel. So if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on your notifications for other interesting videos that are coming up every single week. And as usual, we will be having two interesting giveaways. The first one is the pre-live giveaway, where I'll pick 5 of the best lucky winners by the end of this live section from the Twitter post that we have before on our Barmy Twitter account. And the second one is the in-live giveaway, which also usually known as the community Q&A section. So that's where I'm going to pick 5 best comments/questions from the community chat section down below that are dropped during our live, and those five questions will also be the winners of the reward of 100 USDT. So the total reward of these two interesting giveaways are 200 USDTs, and we will announce all of that later by the end of this live. So don't forget to stay tuned until the end and claim your prize. So today we're welcoming the CEO of Mimir project, the first quiz game on the space that collab with the blockchain technology. And we're welcoming Victor. Victor, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for having me on here. Such a lovely intro you had there.
Thank you. So can you introduce a little bit about your position and the reason why you're here, as well as the vision of your project?
Sure. So I am mostly known as the all-father of the Mimer World project. In essence, that is equivalent to being the CEO and founder. So we are a Swedish game studio from Stockholm in Sweden, and we're actually doing something very unique in the crypto space, and that is that we're launching our token, the one and only token that will rule the games in our Mimer world that are connected to blockchain. And we're doing that almost at the same time as we're delivering our first game to market, the Mimer quiz game, which is centered around probably the most popular and universal game concept of all time. That has a huge potential to onboard the mass markets into crypto and also getting the benefits that are associated with game fee.
Great. So we usually start with this question by going to going deeply into the project's overview. So the question is, what is the meaning behind the Mimir's project name? So, like, do
Oh,
you
I
have
love
any backup story for that? Yeah.
Yes, I love sharing that story. So since we're from Sweden, we have that Scandinavian Viking heritage, and Mimir was actually a being back in the old days in
Mm-hmm.
Norse mythology, a being that had one task. He had one task in this world, and that was to guard a sacred well that kept all of the history, all of the knowledge, and all the wisdom of the world, kind of like a
Oh.
blockchain. So it might very well be the first blockchain in history, even though it was back in the Viking Age. But he had that task to guard this sacred well, and anyone who drank from that well instantly received all the history and wisdom of the world. And everyone in this world tried to fight Mimer and tried to trick him into letting them drink, but only one managed to do so, and that was Odin. And once Odin had received some water from the Mimer's well, he gained that wisdom. And the first thing that he did was that he decapitated Mimer and had Mimer's head on his shoulder. And hopefully the Mimer project will have a better ending than what Mimer experienced back in the day. So that's the overall symbolism. And a good thing as well is that we're centered around knowledge-based games. And that is also a perfect symbol for us. So being from Scandinavia, being centered around knowledge-based games, and also blockchain, that makes perfect sense to be called Mimer.
Yeah, it really does. So basically, everyone is like fighting for, the key to everything in the world, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
that sounds very exciting. So yeah, could you go into the game more by, telling what is it really about? So like what you guys are offering?
Yeah.
So I know it's like a quiz game, but what kind of quiz and like how does the platform work?
Yeah. So first off, I can share with you that the Mimer quiz game is our first game to market. It will launch on Google Play and App Store with also a web version in your browser that you can play. But before we dive into that, it's important to note that the Mimer token that is launching today on Gate and tomorrow on Uniswap, that is the only token that the Mimer project will ever release. And that governs all the upcoming games as well as the Mimer Quiz game coming out. So what we are trying to do with this project is more or less to bring blockchain games with all of the amazing ideas surrounding game fee, that is NFTs, where you can own your in-game items, play to earn, where you're actually rewarded for your playtime, and also some other very cool concepts connected to the immense utility that comes from blockchain technology. So we have plans to launch at least one new game every quarter, and that is quite aggressive. But what we actually do is that we look at Google Play and App Store to find the games out there that have hundreds of millions of people playing them. So we're not guessing if people are going to like our games. We take already proven concepts from the traditional mobile gaming world, and then we build them ourselves because they're quite basic in the sense of logic on how you build them. And since they're based on a proof of concept in terms of gameplay, it's quite easy as well to implement that. And our secret recipe in that sense, the added value that we come with, is that we make these games just as easy to play and interact with that you would expect from a normal mobile game. But we do it with blockchain technology. So in the Mimer quiz game, we actually have 6 different blockchain technologies working in the game, but the end product will be just as easy to enjoy as a normal traditional quiz game. So that is the game changer that we are bringing. We're actually, of course, we're centered around the crypto space, but our overall ambition is to reach out to the mass markets and let them experience the powerful things that come with blockchain technology. And that is the true game changer that the entire ecosystem of blockchain projects should be working on to onboard the mass market. Because crypto might be very big if you look on Twitter and you only follow crypto projects, but it's still very early in that I think there are only like 300 or 400 million people that own crypto, and that is not a big market in that sense. So what we need to do, everyone that works in this space, is to find use cases and utilities to onboard the mass market. And a cool thing that Axie has done is they've actually proven that game fee is super powerful. It's helping people all over the world. But the majority of Axie players, they don't play Axie because the game is revolutionizing good in the gameplay. They play it because they make money, and it's a proven
Mm,
concept where they can put food on their table and actually provide for their families. And that's the amazing
yeah.
social benefits that come from game fee. But ask yourself this: what is the skill level to enter Mimer Quiz? Well, you download it on Google Play and App Store, connect the MetaMask wallet, and then you click
Mm,
buttons. You answer questions. You participate in live stream tournaments where you click buttons, you answer questions, and you can play one versus one as well. So the skill level is, you can't get lower than that. It's super easy to get started, and you're rewarded for your playtime. Even if you're just playing quiz games with your friends for free, you can actually get rewarded in Mimer tokens. And the use case for and utility for Mimer tokens is that you can use Mimer tokens in our play to win version. And that is the version when you play our 2 games, one versus one or the live stream tournaments. And you can actually enter into these games with a stake in Mimer tokens. So in essence, that is something that will build up a big prize pool for people to compete and play for. And that's the overall most exciting part about the Mimer quiz game, is that we will onboard the mass markets. We will have live quiz tournaments that are broadcasted at least 5 times each day, covering all the major time zones. And the prize pots that we're playing for will be huge. So that is something that is truly exciting. Bringing that new technology with live stream and bringing the most universal and popular game mode of all time, quiz games and trivia games, to the masses, and also letting them experience the powerful technology that is blockchain. So all your winnings, all your rewards will be instantly transferred to your MetaMask wallet. Um, as you see, I can ramble on quite long, but you wanted to know more about the gameplay. Should I just walk you through how that works in that way?
Well, yeah, before we get into that, why don't we talk about the team a little bit?
Yeah,
Since you have covered quite enough, like, that's basically a very descriptive overview of how the project works. But yeah, before we get into the gameplay and all of that, I want to know more about like the team members and how are they contributing to the Mimir project?
yeah. So our office is here in Stockholm, Sweden, where the majority of our team sits. That's the team developing the mobile game app and the smart contracts working and the Mimer token. So the genius behind Mimer token is also called Victor. That's a very good name. We have two Victors in this project. And Victor Stenberg, the blockchain developer that we have, he's actually worked for Facebook for 2 years. He's been coding
Mm,
Solidity and Python for at least 5 years. He is
wow,
the
that's
guy
impressive.
that can pretty much, if you want something, if you have a vision, this guy can do it. He's so amazing. And the coolest things, like if you rewind the time back 4 or 5 months when we started developing this, the most difficult technical threshold was to build this game with 6 different blockchain technologies. So we used Chainlink, Polygon, Saya, Morales, MetaMask, and Ethereum. And we combine all those strengths into a game that at the end of the day should be played by mass market people. So very low technical threshold. But Victor has enabled some really cool functions where you can do in-game transactions that are completely gas fee less because we cover them because they're so small on the Polygon network. And also all the in-game transactions, say for instance you're paying an entry fee to register for a live quiz show broadcasted to the entire world that costs $1 worth of Mimer tokens in a prize pool that perhaps is $100,000 worth of Mimer tokens that you're competing for, then you do that with a click of a button. You don't have to type in 24 characters and choose which network you're sending those Mimer tokens to. So that's something completely revolutionizing. So all the in-game transactions are handled by just a click of a button. And that's something very cool. But perhaps the most amazing thing that he has contributed in terms of ease of use is that we will actually, in 2 or 3 weeks, we will add a fiat on-ramp in the Mimer quiz game, meaning that when the mass market come in to play this game, they can use their credit card to buy Mimer tokens instantly in the game, in the mobile application, and then API calls and makes a market order on the exchange that has the best price for Mimer tokens, and they will receive it instantly to their MetaMask wallet. So that's a little bit background about Victor. We also have some other amazing talents in this project. We have Stefano. He can hear me right now. He's sitting working hard here. He's the guy that is doing all the visual graphics and design and videos and whatnot. And that is something that is truly amazing. Stefano is a hardworking and loyal guy. And even though he might not have been that much into crypto, he knows a lot about crypto right now. And I think that's one of the cool things about this project. We have people that have been very long time in the crypto space, like our legal advisor, Empire Global Partners. They have been in the crypto industry for 9 years. And not a lot of people can say that. They even helped out Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash with their ICO. And since they're a legal firm centered around blockchain and crypto, that is also something very valuable for us. so that we stay on the right side of things, especially here in Sweden. It's not so blockchain friendly. Um, so you have to have all those different perspectives into it. So they're very good. And then you get lots of help from our crypto advisory board. We have some amazing people there. We have Royal Finance. Geo from Royal Finance is a true superstar in the game fee ecosystem, helping us out with everything that you can imagine. And then we have people that are not even in our team, but are in our team in the way that they contribute on a daily basis. And that is Suvi from Starter. Starter is the place that we have had our IDO on. And Suvi is just an amazing person. She is a Finnish woman, but has her heart in Sweden as well. So she really cares about this project. So we're very stacked on the tech side with an amazing blockchain developer and a seasoned crew that works with developing these mobile games, making us very flexible to actually add at least one more game every quarter. So we will target the most popular games with a universal reach, with hundreds of millions of players, bringing game fee, NFTs, play to earn, blockchain technology to the masses. So we have that stacked tech team. We also have the community managers that are working day and night in our Telegram groups and on Twitter and whatnot to answer people's questions. So pretty much the whole 360 perspective is with us there. So we have legal, we have token advisors, we have crypto advisors, we have lots of people that have been in the space for many years. But we also have a lot of people that perhaps might not have been working in the crypto space. So we get both the mass market perspective as well as the crypto perspective. And that's something that I think a lot of projects are missing out on, because we need to grow this space. We can't just be a small echo chamber. We need to be more, we need to share our visions of how to improve the world and how to solve real world problems with blockchain technology. We need to do that to the mass market, because that's the overall idea, to actually make blockchain technology and all the amazing ideas that come with it a household thing, a mainstream thing. So that's something that is very special about this project, that we're actually delivering something pretty much within the first days after the token is released. We're not trying to raise funds in that sense to make us rich. We've put ourselves last. The team gets their tokens vested for 24 months, and we're the last ones to receive tokens. So the price performance is often something that projects spend too much time on. What we know is that we will deliver some really kick-ass games. We will have huge markets that we are disrupting. We're pretty much taking all of the popular mobile games and adding all these amazing things from game fee and blockchain technology, letting the entire world experience how it is to play these kind of games. And that's something that we are banking on will make the gaming industry disrupted in that sense.
Well, that sounds like a very historical movement for like all the industry into one. And
Yeah.
yeah, why don't we, while we're talking about the gameplay, why don't we go into, I've seen a lot of questions asking that what's Mimir quiz game about? Like, is it just like random questions, or
Oh yeah.
does it have any kind of like topics in specific? Yeah, could you like clarify that?
Yeah, sure. So if you scroll up a little bit on the website, we can just I think it's easier for the viewers to follow along. If you scroll up on the website to the, is that possible?
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, you can scroll down there as well if you want
Oh,
to.
okay.
And then there we go. So
Okay.
essentially, when you download this app, there will be two different games. We have 1 versus 1, and we have the live streamed tournaments. Those two games are 100% free to play, and for
Mm-hmm.
just playing, you will be rewarded in Mimer tokens for your achievements. So, say for instance, you and I, Kristen, are playing a 1 versus 1 game. Then we're doing that in a round-based game. So we have 5 rounds with 3 questions in each round, and then we go back and forth. And after the game is finished, we will see who is the winner with the most correct answers.
Mm-hmm.
And just by playing, grinding it out 24/7, this is a 24/7 gameplay. You can just play as many games as you like, and you will be rewarded with Mimer tokens. And that's based on your achievement and your playing activity. So, say for instance, you played 100 games in 1 versus 1, then you're rewarded with X amount of Mimer tokens. If you're on a winning streak, if you've won 10 in a row, that will also grant you some Mimer tokens. So, this is capturing the most popular gameplay of all time, quiz games, in the traditional way. So it's something you can always play with your friends or with random opponents across the world. And for doing that, you're rewarded in Mimer tokens. But the most thrilling thing, the most exciting feature of the Mimer quiz game is for sure the live stream shows. So in our
Mm.
office and our studio here, you see the
Mm-hmm.
green screen here and the camera.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's where we will be hosting the live streamed events. So we have actually 3 full-time game hosts that will deliver some really thrilling excitement to players all over the world. And this concept is not something that we have invented. This was actually started back in the US 3 years ago when HQ Trivia launched their HQ Trivia app, which was a new way of thinking in terms of quiz games. So everyone knows Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Jeopardy, and all those kind of quiz shows on TV. But since pretty much everyone has turned off their TV right now, and no one is watching linear TV, those kind of game
Yeah.
shows have more or less faded out. And the cool
Mm-hmm.
thing about mobile games is that they also have the power of live stream. So what they did was that they live streamed a quiz show that users could participate in. So instead of sitting at home in your couch watching Jeopardy, where other people are competing for money and answering questions, they let you be part of the action. So you could actually answer questions and compete for the money, just like if you were one of the participants in Jeopardy. And that
Mm-hmm.
is a truly groundbreaking concept to more or less take all the ones that have been watching TV game shows and let them be part of the show and let them be able to win money. And that is exactly what we're doing here. So we're going to be live streaming at least 5 different live quiz shows from our studio here every day, where we will have games that are free to play, where you can register for. And in the first week of launching Mimer Quiz Game, I think our guaranteed allocations in terms of Mimer tokens will be the equivalent of 10,000 US dollars worth of Mimer tokens, all the way up to $100,000 worth of Mimer tokens. And you can just download this game and register for free. But then we also have the play to win version. And to enter into these game modes, you have to have Mimer tokens in your MetaMask wallet, and you use the Mimer token to stake a before entering a game in 1 versus 1. So if you and I were to play in 1 versus 1 game in play to win, we could settle a stake before entering the game. So we're playing for a prize pool. So say for instance, you and I are playing for 100 Mimer tokens. Then we both send in 100 Mimer tokens with a click of a button to a safe escrow that holds the prize pool. And after the game is finished, the winner will take that prize pool. And in the live shows, you need to pay an entry fee in Play to Win to enter. And all the entry fees that are paid go directly into the prize pool. So if you have 100,000 people paying $1 worth of entry fees, then everyone is competing for $100,000 worth of Mimer tokens in this game. And that's the exciting thing. And if you look at the metrics of these live quiz shows, people might be wondering how big are these live shows, because there are fiat live quiz shows out on the market, and it's huge. A small country like Sweden with 10 million people actually had 150,000 Swedes entering in to play in these fiat version of live quiz shows. And in the US, at their peak, they had 2.5 million Americans. And you can find this also in China, in Korea, pretty much all over the world. These sort of live quiz show games with fiat money have popped up, and they're super popular. But do you know, Kristen, what their limitation is?
What is that?
It's that they're handling fiat money. And with fiat
Oh.
money comes restrictions. If your game is centered around giving away money in fiat, then there is no way that you can let people outside of your domestic market or your country to enter.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about the Mimer quiz game, if you just count out the blockchain part, is that we will be the first quiz game in the world that is launching a live quiz show that the entire world can join in on and play. And that is a groundbreaking concept. And the way that we do that is through blockchain technology. So when people are competing for these prize pools in Mimer tokens, the smart contracts operating in the game will, after the game is done, send out instant transfers to the winners' wallets, solving the problem that the other fiat live quiz shows have, that they can't transfer money to participants that have won in the game. Like if you look at HQ Trivia, that was a huge success in the US. I think they were one of the most played mobile games in 2018, 2019. But then they sort of disappeared because they went bankrupt, because they ran out of money. And the prize winnings in these sorts of game shows with fiat money is like $2 or $3. So it's very low. The prize winnings that we will have in our game will be astronomically higher because we can invite the whole world to join. And we also have that added feature with play to win, where people can pay an entry fee, and that then goes into the prize pool that everyone is competing for. So with the power of numbers and doing this with the most universal game concept of all time, trivia and quiz games, I think we can be one of the crypto games that actually onboards a big number of mass market people. And that's very exciting.
Yeah.
For letting just normal people that have never been in contact with crypto, this could be one of their first steps that they take into the cryptosphere. And that's very exciting as well.
Yeah, so I think that you described pretty much about like the gameplay and how it works already, and is obviously such an impressive vision, and like that's like a very powerful movement for the whole industry, and I think it's gonna make a really big hit. Maybe even the trendsetter for the next trend in the crypto space. But yeah, can you briefly go through the tokenomic distribution and as well as the roadmap for the whole project of Mimir?
Sure. So to start off in the tokenomics section, I think it's important to highlight that roughly 40% of the total supply is locked in a reward pool that is centered around liquidity and rewards to players. So 40% of the total supply goes to that idea in terms of letting people get paid for playing our games. And it's not just a Mimer quiz game. It's for the entire ecosystem of games that is coming in the Mimer world. So it's the big chunk to your right there. The dark blue section, if you browse over it, yes. So that reward pool holds the liquidity pool and the reward pool. And that is constantly paying out. From starters, it's locked. So that is not something that even we can move. And then it is centered around smart contracts paying out to rewards to people for playing our games. And this reward pool is constantly being filled up, and it's resupplied, since our business model is to take a rake of all the price pools that are played in our ecosystem. We take a small percentage, roughly 5 to 10% of each game, that is played with a prize pool, not the free parts, but in the play to win. And that rake is then, the majority of that rake is going back into the reward pool. So as we play more games in the Mimer world ecosystem, that reward pool is getting filled up even more. And then it is only unlocked when people are playing the game. So we're very heavy centered around play to earn in that way. And there are also some more exciting things coming in the NFT space. And this will work for all the games that are coming out. So as we onboard even more users, that reward pool will be more valuable for players as time goes on. So that's the overall idea, to be centered around having our tokenomics for play to earn, NFTs, and all the amazing things with GameFi.
Great.
And if
So
you
what about the roadmap?
Yeah, so the roadmap, in essence, you can have a look at it there. Today is a historical day for the Mimer project. We are actually out on gate.io, so you can actually buy Mimer, the ticker Mimer, with USDT and ETH trading pairs. So it's actually amazing to see that come to life. So that's today, and tomorrow we launch on Uniswap with a Big Bang coming out 7 a.m. UTC time. So check that out. So those are the two listings that are coming this week, but we will have more listings on QuickSwap and some other places that we will announce. And then what everyone is waiting for, the Mimer quiz game. So how it works when you launch a blockchain game is that, since everything is on the main net in terms of the in-game transactions, we have to wait for the TGE, which is today, until we can publish the game into Google Play and App Store. And after you do that, it's a reviewal process. So the guys at Google and App Store have to review the game until and then publish it. But we have, with our lawyers and with the tech team that is building these games, we have been very thorough with reading through their terms and conditions. So hopefully they will not postpone any time in that sense to deliver the game in Google Play and App Store. But we have the game in test flight right now, and we already have the studio, we have the live host waiting for everyone to join the game. And hopefully in a couple of days, it's hard to tell because we don't know how long it takes for Google Play and App Store to approve the game before it's published. But if it takes too long time, then we will invite our community into a test flight mode. And then we don't need to have Google or App Store's approval to play the game. So they can download the game in test flight mode and enjoy the live shows. But hopefully that will be published to the App Store and Google Play Store in a couple of days. But stay tuned for that announcement on our social media channels. And you should not miss that, because the first week, that will be action-packed. We will have at least 5 daily live shows covering the major time zones. So anyone can play. Anyone can play in these games, but we will have lots of prizes. And I mean, if you check out Twitter, people go crazy if someone says, if you retweet this, you can win $250. Come on. I mean, the first live shows that we are going to have are going to be with very fun topics. It can be anything. It can be about the BSC Army. It can be about Brave Browser. It can be about soccer. It can be about Michael Jackson. It's going to be quiz games with topics that people can relate to and that people find very interesting. So once players come into the lobby, they can check out the coming schedule. But stay tuned for that announcement. We're working very hard to get it out as soon as possible. And if Google Play and App Store takes too long time, then we will pull the trigger and invite people into the test flight mode. for the first days, and then it will be published. And we're also launching this as a desktop web version game as well. And one of the coolest things there, as you see, I can go on and on and on, but this is worth sharing. So we're actually one of our partners here in the crypto space is Brave Browser, and a cool thing that is happening on their end is that they are planning to onboard games into their browser, and Brave is growing like crazy. They have 42 million active monthly users. So in the beginning of next year, in Q1, we will explore a new way to launch games in Brave Browser, reaching that target group. So that's going to be very exciting as well.
Great. So guys, you heard the call and all the important information that are coming up. So don't forget to follow up, catch up on the socials, and wait for stay tuned for all of that events. And Mimir's gonna be the next big hit. But yep. So, since we've talked quite a lot about the project, one last question before we move to the Q&A section. Yeah. So since you mentioned earlier that the users can, plug in their credit card and, start doing all like the transaction in game and all of that. So how would you make sure that your security system works, well enough to guarantee all of that to work smoothly and guarantee your users' money, users' wallet, as well as the trust to the project?
Yeah. First thing first, the Mimer token has been audited by Sokio, one of the most reputable security and audit companies for cryptocurrencies and tokens in the world. So you can find that audit on our website, and we passed with flying colors. So our blockchain developer was very happy to see that Sokio had pretty much no comment on the token functionality. So we actually received 100% code functionality, and the industry standard is 95%. So that's way above the industry standard. So the Mimer token is secure in that sense, and it's built on the Ethereum blockchain, even though that we bridge it over the Polygon in the game. It's 100% secure on that. All the on-chain activities are 100% secure in that way. And when it comes to the off-chain, which is the React Native that the game is built on, the mobile game, then we take in some very strong security measures that we have built in to mitigate any and all cheating with questions. We use chain links, VRF functions, so that all the questions that are generated in the game are chosen randomly and provable fair. A very cool use case with chain links, VRF functions. And when it comes to in-game transactions, that's actually using Moralis, also a Swedish tech company building blockchain solutions. So a big shout out to Moralis. That's Ivan on Tech's blockchain startup. And with Moralis, we can actually facilitate credit card payments to receive Mimer tokens in game. And the wallet in the game is not our wallet. It's the MetaMask wallet, the biggest one out there. Very user-friendly, very secure. And all the players that connect a new one or an existing MetaMask wallet, they are the owners of that wallet. They have the private keys. It's not something that we have access to in any way. So any way you look at it, it's a secure infrastructure that the Mimer quiz game will deliver.
Great. So yeah, we have quite got a picture of how this platform works, and everything are basically ready to go. I just hope that Mimir will have officially launch successful for the game, for the quiz, and many more, even more updates and like events are coming as well. For now, let's take a short break before we move to the second section, where we're gonna answer 5 questions from the community. And those questions are all for you, Victor.
Ooh,
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Great.
Bring it on, guys.
Yep. So let's watch a short video before we get into that, shall we? Great. So with the slogan "Play, Earn, Win," Mimir has, clearly proven the three core values of this game, of this whole project, as Victor have, demonstrated before to all of us right here. And right now we'll go even deeply into the project by, answering all of this very detailed question, with like a lot of research from our users, from the audience right here. The first one, this one says that UI UX is very important for mobile app. What will you use to make your app easy to use and ensure good customer experience?
Yeah, that is the core mission for all of our games. And that's why we're doing this, because there's such a huge opportunity to more or less take the existing games that you can find in Google Play and App Store with hundreds of millions of people playing worldwide, and then add these amazing things from the blockchain space. But you can't do that in a way where you make it harder for people to play, make it confusing for them. The most important thing for the end product is to actually be better than what is out on the market. So that is something that is the most important thing for all of our games. And how we do that in the game is that the onboarding process is very simple. You can download this game and play without even connecting a MetaMask wallet. So you can just enjoy a normal traditional quiz game with a 1 versus 1 game and compete in these live shows. But if you don't connect a MetaMask wallet, then you won't receive any rewards or prize winnings. But just imagine this: we have 350 million people on this planet that plays quiz games on their mobile phones, and smartphones and mobile devices. And they are stuck with this situation. They can either pay a monthly fee to play a quiz game on their phone that costs like $5 to $10 every month, or they can play a free version with limited gaming options and these annoying ads that come up every time you do something. Every time you click a button, you get a new ad. So if you're just one of these 350 million people on the planet, then right now you can, or when the Mimer quiz game comes out, you can just switch to our game, and it's just as easy to play. And you don't even have to connect a MetaMask wallet. You can just enjoy the quiz fun, no ads, 100% for free. But in terms of UI and UX in that way, to answer the question, we have built, I was talking about this earlier, but in terms of the blockchain functions that you're working with, our blockchain developer has built seamless functions so that every transaction that is done in the game is done by a click of a button. And since it's on the Polygon network, we have 0 gas fees. And we also have lightning fast transactions. We can scale this game to hundreds of thousands of people, perhaps even millions. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you connect a MetaMask wallet. It's just as easy as to set up a new email account. So even mass market people that have no experience in crypto can do that. So that's the only technical threshold in the game. And all the other things is just clicking buttons. And under the hood, we have smart contracts operating, sending transactions to these prize pools, or sending or buying in-game items. All those kind of things are not done with manually entering a wallet address where you're sending stuff to. When the MetaMask wallet is instantly set to the Polygon network, so you don't have to do anything. So in terms of that way, just think of a normal traditional mobile game and all that user interface and seamless experience for players. That's what you're going to get in the Mimer quiz game. So hopefully that answered the question. But yeah, you answer questions, you play fun quiz games, you get rewarded for it, and the technical threshold is very, very low in that way.
Oh. Yeah, I can already see that the mechanism is very easy to understand and very easy to play as well. So yeah, thank you for the question as well as your answer came from the CEO of Mimir project. So for the next question, can Mimir display the question interface in the user's native language that will attract more global players instead of only showing English? Well, this is actually a very good point. Have you ever
Yeah,
thought of that?
yeah. This is something. But you have to start somewhere, right? So
Mm,
English makes sense because most of the things that are centered around sort of a mass market approach is done with English. But the cool thing, though, is that the highlights of the game will be the live shows.
live, yeah.
And one of our hosts actually speaks Mandarin. So that's
Mm,
Jeff. He speaks very good English, and he also speaks Mandarin. So as we grow and we see that we have strongholds in Vietnam or in the Philippines or in China or in France or whatever, we can actually tailor the quiz themes to be live streamed with a host speaking that language. And then in the quiz game, we will just have a that country's flag uh, centered around the the event. So you know that it's going to be a Chinese speaking host, it's going to be a French speaking host, a Spanish speaking host, or whichever language we find meaningful to have games. So we will have English in the beginning, and as we grow, we will also see where we have strongholds of communities, and in that way we can pinpoint places that make sense for us, and it's very easy. We have a database of 100,000 questions in the one versus one game, and that's going to be some time with translating. But in the live shows, that's done through live streaming. So all we need is to have a presenter speaking that native language, and people can join in. So the live show questions we write ourselves, and just to make it even more fun and exciting and be centered around quite interesting topics. So in that way, it's going to be very easy for us to tailor questions to other areas of the world in the Mimer quiz game. So that will probably come out in a month or so, I would say, depending on how fast we grow and where we find some strongholds of players. So if we grow in China, we have, for instance, we're launching on Gate, and we also are backed by some very strong investors from Chainfear and Firefly from China, and they will also help us translate websites, questions, and whatnot. So a cool thing as well, since that the game is centered on live show, is that we can actually fly our equipment out to any place in the world, or we can set up multiple studios. Um, so as we grow, we will find these different places where we will pinpoint and do some extra activities.
right. I think that if you got the hold of English and like Mandarin at the same time, you basically got like the most spoken languages over like all over the world. So that's like a very good starting point if you want to grow, your app even more in the
Yeah.
future. Yeah, so yeah, this is quite a very good question, and I love how you handle that as well. Thank you for that. And we're moving on to the next question. So this one says, "What is Mimir Quiz top priorities by the end of 2021 and the upcoming 2022?" So could you share some plans for the upcoming year? Which part of the project are you most focused on right now?
So it's quite crazy actually to launch a token and the game so close to each other. Pretty much no one else does it in the crypto space. So we have been working from 6 in the morning up until late across midnight, Monday to Sunday, to make this thing come to life. So our attention is on the token side, so that can be launched in a very good way. And of course, our focus is also on the Mimer quiz game and also the upcoming games. So we're launching a new game in Q1, perhaps in the middle of January, end of January, I would say. The second Mimer game comes out, blockchain game based, that is going to be centered around. I'm going to leave you with a little cliffhanger there, but it's going to be centered around knowledge. It's going to be centered around one of the most popular game shows in the world as well. So we will use live stream, we will use the Mimer token, and we will use some very strong and powerful blockchain technologies, and we will bring that to one of the most popular games in the world. But what I can say though is that some of the games, without saying which one will come next, but we will target Scrabble, like Word Feud, Russell. We will target game shows. Think of all the game shows that you've seen on TV that have now disappeared. All these game shows were centered around people competing, either in a competition or with some knowledge-based theme. And they're competing for money, and they're competing in very fun and exciting ways for the audience. But the
Have you
game
ever heard
changer,
of Kahoot?
Kahoot, it rings a bell. What was that?
It's also like a very great app to, for like quizzes and like Jeopardy. So like basically they allow a lot of people to join at once, and then they will show the questions, and then like four options, or maybe you can have another type of way to play, like maybe like put them in
Is it
order,
is
something
it
like
like
that.
a battle royale where people are knocked out, or?
Well, it's they also like race for the ranking, so like for the top three,
Oh,
I remember. Yeah. But like those are really common, I think for like high schoolers. So yeah, I think that's a very good app you want to target them as well.
yeah, and I mean, one of the cool things about being a Mimer token holder is that the token functionality also lets you. It's a decentralized governance token with voting rights. So holders of the Mimer token can participate in voting activities that will shape the Mimer world of blockchain games. So they will be able to participate in votings of which games will be upcoming that we should focus our development team on. And we're always open to listen in and get feedback from our community, because that's the most important thing. The
Yeah.
community. We want to let them shape the future of the Mimer world as well. So you can always reach out to us on Telegram at Mimer Official, and you can always go to Discord or Twitter or Reddit and find us there as well. So any sort of game that you think will be the next big hit, you can just bring it our way, and we'll have a look at it, and we'll see what happens. But that's the overall idea, to have a new game come out every quarter where the Mimer token is the only token ruling all of these mobile games.
Great.
Uh, did
Yeah.
I answer the
Uh,
question, or did I miss something? Top
well, I
priorities.
think that pretty much answered it because you show like which milestone you really like focusing on and trying to nourish at the moment. Yeah, I think that resolved the concern of this user, of whoever asked this question. Well, yeah, thank you for that very descriptive answer. Next up, we have the fourth question right here. Says that I note that the project has been listed on Gate and Uniswap. Does Mimer intend to list any more, or will focus on advertising the product in the near future?
Yeah, we will announce when the next listing is rather soon. It will be probably will be QuickSwap on Polygon. And then we have some really amazing interest from a lot of other centralized exchanges, and we're also looking into adding Mimer to trading pairs on other dexes. So right now we are on Gate with two different trading pairs on USDT and ETH, and tomorrow we launch on Uniswap, and then
Mhm.
up next will be after that QuickSwap, and then some other exciting things. So stick around and follow us on social media, and you will be the first one to know.
Love it.
But but
So
the
yeah,
big thing for us will of course be new listings on even bigger centralized exchanges, and also when we start onboarding the mass market.
yeah.
That's like the top priority, to build or to implement the fiat on ramp, so the mass market
Mm,
can come in and buy Mimer tokens. So that will
great.
be creating a lot of volume on exchanges.
Yeah, it really does. So yeah, I love the plan, and I also hope that you can achieve all of the goals that you planned out, you have in mind right now. And users will just love to hear more about those exciting news in the future, and they are really curious of what you guys are going to achieve. Um, so for the last question that we have occurred, it says that the Polygon network is cheap, but the transaction is quite slow. What solution does your game have to fix this?
Uh, Not sure if I follow along that it would be slow in that way. So we have already run this on the test net. That is, we've already tested it out. But now that we're on mainnet, we don't experience any slow transaction speeds in that way. But if that person can write to Mr. Mr. Stenberg on Telegram, he can probably give a very detailed description of how we're doing that. There's also a good editorial news with Mimer and Polygon out, that Polygon has put out on Crypto Daily, I think, which highlights all the full stack solutions that we use with Polygon technology to facilitate these transactions in a fast and scaled way. So I think, let me see if I can drop that link here. 1 second. Crypto Daily. Can I post links here? Yeah, here we go.
Perfect. So yeah, maybe talk a little more about this. Well,
Yes.
it's always, yeah, it's very important to, always answer all of your community members' questions.
Yeah,
And I
for
think
sure, for sure.
that's,
I'm just
yeah.
not the blockchain developer, so
Oh yeah, I got it.
uh, so in essence, I think the best way would either be to contact us on social media or read through
Mhm.
this article. And if I had my blockchain developer, he is actually out taking a little break right now. But if he were here, he would have answered it in a better
Yeah.
capacity than what I can do.
Well,
So,
yeah, maybe we can post the full
yeah,
answer for this question later after this live. But for now, I think you pretty much answer all of the concern and like questions came from our community. And I think that was being very helpful for all of us as well. We got, deeper understanding as well as the insight of your project. And right now, why don't we move to the last session, which also is the most exciting one,
oh,
because this is where we're gonna find out who are the five lucky winners for our giveaway. So yeah, let's open up the lucky wheel and roll up to see whose names are called. Okay, let's get started. And here we go. Congratulations! So yeah, those five usernames will be posted later on our Barmy Twitter account and with the full description instruction of how to claim your prize, your reward. So don't forget to stay tuned until then and receive your money. Right now, well, it has been a very great AMA session with you, Victor, from Mimir today, and we've covered pretty much everything about about the gameplay, and like, a lot of important information as well. So thank you for your time. It was a very huge pleasure getting to know you personally and also the project. So do you want to say any last words to our lovely audience right here, Victor?
Oh, I want to thank them for spending some time with us here talking about the Mimer token that it launches today on Gate and tomorrow on Uniswap. So check that out and join us on this great adventure when we're disrupting the old and traditional gaming industry. So that's going to be a huge thing. So if you are bullish on the game fee movement and joining the project that is bringing blockchain games to the mass market, then check that out for sure. And I also want to say that if you have any more questions, you can always reach out to us on Telegram at Mimer Official. We will answer any and all questions, and it's a better way if you have a specialized tech question, for instance, pertaining to the blockchain functions at work. Mr. Stenberg, our blockchain developer, will answer it in full capacity. But yeah, check us out on social media on Twitter. We're called Mimer Token, and on Telegram, Mimer Official, Reddit, Discord. Everything can be found on mimerquiz.com. So hope that you enjoyed this little AMA and that we will be seeing you in the Mimer world of blockchain games coming to you very soon. And thank you so
Yeah.
much, Kristen, for having me on.
Thank you so much for your time as well. We have posted all of the social links down below on the description box. So guys, don't forget to look into that if you want to learn more about the project. And for now, let's close up our live today. I love to see you all in the next video as well, but let's say goodbye and we'll hope to see each other again, Victor.
Yes, next time you and I will perhaps be playing 1 versus 1.
Oh,
And
love
we'll
it.
see if you can beat the all-father of the Mimer world. That would be
Challenge
exciting.
accepted. Yep.
Excellent. All
Okay,
right.
so let's say goodbye.
Take care, guys.